Well, he sung, but not in the same way that he did with the Dominoes. He hasn't yet made that change. Bobby Whitlock, Eric Clapton's key writing collaborator and co-founder of Derek and the Dominoes, just died at home in Texas. Today, we found out that Bobby Whitlock, the keyboardist and singer, had passed away. In 1970, Whitlock and Eric Clapton formed Derek and the Dominoes, a blues rock group. He passed away in his Texas home. 77 was Bobby Whitlock's age. Clapton abruptly ended his years-long silence about their connection shortly after, which caused a great uproar in the music industry. In addition to being heartbreaking news regarding the death of a performer, this marks the end of a significant period in history connected to the iconic album Layla and other love songs. The two have collaborated on songs and performed together for almost 50 years, but their turbulent relationship has recently exposed previously undisclosed details. According to Eric Clapton, Bobby Whitlock's passing was an irreplaceable loss. He sent his last wishes and noted that Whitlock was a great friend on his personal page as soon as the news was confirmed. The quick but decisive disclosure followed hours of silence concerning the two's connection. And Clapton added, "I will always miss his voice and spirit. We shared unforgettable moments." Whitlock's passing ended Clapton's infrequent public remarks on the former Derek and the Dominoes members. According to a person close to Clapton, he had been keeping a careful eye on Whitlock's condition in the last few weeks of his life. Although they hadn't collaborated musically in years, they had kept in touch via private phone conversations. Clapton was aware of Whitlock's progress from his early days at Stax to his role as a co-founder of Dominoes. He remarked, "I'm always proud to have Bobby by my side, and we went through the best and the worst together." After traveling with Delaney and Bonnie, Bobby Whitlock and Eric Clapton reunited to form Derek and the Dominoes, where they discovered a unique musical connection. The two swiftly established a unique sound by fusing Whitlock's organ and lush vocals with Clapton's soulful guitar. "Love Me and You." From these sessions, when ideas were shared continuously and recordings were finished in a matter of days, songs like Bell Bottom Blues and Why Does Love Got to Be So Sad were born. This partnership served as the basis for one of Clapton's most well-known albums, Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs. However, during the recording process, simmering tensions started to surface to reassure you down under the tunes. Clapton and Whitlock started arguing about the direction of the work. In addition to providing fresh inspiration, Duane Allman's arrival altered the band's composition and put more strain on its members. The atmosphere in the studio was strained due to the weariness from the lengthy sessions and strict scheduling. After Layla was finished, the relationship was still put to the test, even though the songs were still polished to a high standard. Their on-stage chemistry was evident in Dominoes' live performances, but the partnership was weakened behind the scenes by personal issues, touring schedules, and financial strains. Whitlock and Clapton's discussions frequently turned into disputes, according to a person close to the group, particularly when it came to song choices and arrangements. Nevertheless, the two remained collaborators long enough to finish the tour and several other unfinished projects. Whitlock sold the royalties on the songs he co-wrote after Dominoes disbanded. It was a contentious but important choice, and years later, Clapton made sure Whitlock had money. In the early 2000s, fans saw a rare reunion of Clapton and Whitlock on television for later Shiwa with Jules Holland. Whitlock himself stated, "This Eric made sure I was never left out." These remarks imply that, but their rivalry, the two maintained a mutual respect. They had the same chemistry and assurance when playing Bell Bottom Blues. Even if it didn't result in a long-term collaboration, the performance was regarded as evidence of Clapton and Whitlock's capacity to set aside their differences in order to perform together once more. "I cried because of you." Through private discussions and sporadic meetings, the two kept in touch throughout the ensuing years. Although they stopped writing and recording together, they still shared a joyous and musical connection. Clapton's sympathies for Whitlock's passing were particularly impactful because of their friendship. Many people consider Whitlock and Clapton's collaboration on Dominoes to be among the decade's most distinctive rock duos. Whitlock gave the recordings warmth and depth in addition to giving Clapton a voice that complemented his. Before the demands of work upset their perfect balance, Clapton's quiet and reserved personality and Whitlock's loud and strong personality were perfect. Their narrative is one of strife and respect, from first meeting to band formation, to hard writing and recording sessions, to disbanding and briefly reforming. These connections frequently have a lasting effect. Furthermore, the fact that Clapton voiced his disapproval of Whitlock's leaving shows that their shared creations have always been valued despite their past conflicts. Hand claps to the spirit of the Dominoes from Stax. Born in 1948 in Memphis, Tennessee, Bobby Whitlock came from a low-income household. He was exposed to blues, soul, and gospel at a young age while growing up in the city's thriving music culture. Whitlock had the exceptional chance to become the first white artist signed to Stax Records as a young man by way of its hip subsidiary. Simple backing tracks with hand claps on Sam and Dave's I Thank You were his first studio creations. Although it was a modest beginning, it gave him access to the music business. Whitlock met some of Memphis's best producers and musicians at Stax. He learned harmony rhythm and how to set up a productive recording session from his time spent in this setting. Despite playing a supporting role during the recordings, he started honing his technique on the Hammond organ, which would come to represent his career. Whitlock moved from Memphis to Los Angeles in 1968 in pursuit of better prospects. He joined the up-and-coming soul rock group Delaney and Bonnie there. Whitlock was able to play an organ, write songs with the other members, and sing lead vocals after joining the group. When Eric Clapton joined the group on a European tour in 1969, he also met Clapton here for the first time. Their rapid development of musical chemistry laid the groundwork for their future collaborations. Whitlock was invited to take part in several significant recording sessions in addition to Delaney and Bonnie. He participated in John Lennon's composition for the London Christmas show in 1969. He recorded on George Harrison's All Things Must Pass album in early 1970, which featured a number of well-known musicians. Through these encounters, Whitlock was able to strengthen his reputation as a versatile performer and broaden his network of contacts throughout the Anglo-American music community. Clapton was looking for a fresh direction in 1970. He and Whitlock had a close working relationship following his Blind Faith initiative. They established Derek and the Dominoes with Jim Gordon and Carl Rattle. Whitlock, who has worked with high-energy bands like Delaney and Bonnie, contributed his Memphis soul and experience to the group. The distinctive, soulful sound of the Dominoes was produced by fusing the playing styles of Whitlock and Clapton. Whitlock was more than just a supporting voice and organist. He co-wrote the lyrics and melodies for several of the band's most well-known songs. These contributions distinguished the Dominoes from other blues rock bands of the era and served to define the group's character. Many of his contemporaries have observed that the group's appeal stemmed from Clapton's fusion of Whitlock's soul and blues. Clapton's guitar was frequently accompanied by rich, deep chords that Whitlock frequently supplied throughout the recording sessions. His ability to sing in harmony enhanced the main voices, resulting in recordings with vibrant colors. Members of Dominoes who remember this era recognize Whitlock's contribution to preserving the musical harmony of the ensemble. Whitlock's presence on stage produced a vibrant environment. He demonstrated his ability to support Clapton as a musical leader by taking on numerous lead vocals. Whitlock was seen by fans at the time as more than just Clapton's organist. He was a unique musical figure. From Memphis to Los Angeles to London and Miami, Whitlock's early career was a continuous expansion. With every transfer, he gained knowledge and the chance to work with well-known people. In addition to fame, his relationship with Clapton was founded on respect for one another and a love of blues and soul. Whitlock also achieved one of his most creative peaks during the Dominoes' inception. Numerous songs were finished in the studio during the frequent sessions with Clapton and the other members. Despite occasionally being tense, the collaborative environment resulted in work that would go on to become masterpieces. With a solid foundation in Stax and Delaney and Bonnie, Whitlock brought to Dominoes his ability to write songs, play multiple instruments, and act with vigor. His rapid rise to prominence as a vital member of the team can be attributed to his meticulous preparation. Bobby Whitlock's career is the tale of an artist who took chances and made use of experience. From the clapping of stacks to front and center with Derek and the Dominoes, he was ready for the most significant writing and recording phase of his career thanks to this journey. Glory and Fractures, the album Layla, and other love songs that made a lasting impression on music history. Producer Tom Dow oversaw the whole recording of Layla and other assorted love songs, which took place at Criteria Studios in Miami from August to October 1970. With Duane Allman joining them on numerous recordings, it was Derek and the Dominoes' first and only project with the original 4 members. Bobby Whitlock delivered lead or harmony vocals on numerous songs and played the Hammond organ keyboard. Bell Bottom Blues, Why Does Love Got to Be So Sad, Tell the Truth, Any Day, Keep on Growing, I Looked Away, and Thorn Tree in the Garden are among the 7 songs on the album that he co-wrote. The songs received recognition for their skillful fusion of rock, blues, and lyrical melodies. The Layla conclusion, also known as the coda, is one of the song's most noteworthy sections. The slow piano melody it employs creates a very different atmosphere than the start. Regarding the coda's beginnings, Whitlock has expressed his opinion that it does not align with the song's original mood. However, the song's finale was kept in the finished version and has since gained notoriety. Duane Allman's inclusion gave the album a fresh auditory dimension. Allman added poignant lines, particularly in the song Layla, using a slide guitar. Despite its artistic merits, Ela and other various love songs were not initially a financial success. Whitlock frequently lauded Allman's talent and the strong musical relationship between Allman and Clapton, stating that it was the aspect that made the album distinctive. The album did not sell well, and several of the concerts that promoted it did not draw big crowds. Critics quickly acknowledged its worth though, and the album eventually came to be regarded as one of the best examples of rock music of the decade. There were also times during the recording session when the members worked well together. Each member contributed ideas to add or change the words and music for several of the songs, which were finished during extended sessions. Whitlock's background with Staxys, Delaney, and Bonnie allowed him to control the tempo and mood of each tune while maintaining rich harmonies in the studio. During this time, internal disputes also started to surface in addition to the successes. Communication between the band was occasionally strained due to their hectic schedules, pressure from record labels, and differences in artistic vision. Although they continued to collaborate to finish the album, Whitlock and Clapton had developed riffs that would have an impact on the group's future. Some songs were recorded with just the 4 original members because Allman's hectic schedule with the Allman Brothers Band prevented him from participating in the full recording session. As a result, the style shifted from upbeat slide guitar-driven songs to softer, more subtle renditions with Whitlock playing the piano or organ. Whitlock's personal song, Thorn Tree in the Garden, serves as the album's closing track. In contrast to the intensity of the preceding tracks, the straightforward guitar and vocal track offers a peaceful conclusion. It's an obvious illustration of Whitlock's capacity to evoke a variety of feelings and his contribution to the album's nuance. The popularity of songs like Bell Bottom Blues and Layla, which have been listened to for many generations, further confirm the worth of Layla and other love ballads. Whitlock's contributions are inextricably linked to the elements that made this triumph possible. Whitlock's career would be permanently impacted by the recording of Layla, from composition to arrangement and performance. It was evidence of his inventiveness, as well as the start of the band's internal strife. Conflicts and demands would drive Derek and the Dominoes to the verge of disbanding shortly after the album's release, bringing an end to Whitlock and Clapton's brief but outstanding collaboration. Fans' and critics' perceptions of Bobby Whitlock and Eric Clapton's relationship were influenced by the story of Layla and other love songs, from musical achievement to simmering riffs. In addition to being the piece that most exemplified their relationship, it also signaled the start of the significant shifts that would soon take place inside the group alone on an empty stage. Derek and the Dominoes were under a lot of strain following the publication of Layla and Other Love Songs. The members were worn out by the demanding traveling schedule and the quiet disputes. The group formally disbanded by May 1971. Bobby Whitlock started pursuing a solo career after leaving the joint project with Eric Clapton. Bobby Whitlock, his debut album, was well reviewed and reached number 140 on the Billboard charts. Raw Velvet, which he published the same year, reached at number 190. Whitlock's independence as a vocalist, songwriter, and musician was showcased by these two albums. He also contributed background instrumentals to the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Saint album at this time, albeit he was not given credit for it. Whitlock published One of a Kind and Rock Your Socks Off in the ensuing years. Despite their poor sales, they were a reflection of his own musical taste. He continued to collaborate with a variety of other musicians, recording and performing as frequently as he could, while maintaining the soul and blues aspects that had made him famous during the Dominoes era, but experimenting further with song structure. During the late 1970s and early 1980s, Whitlock's public engagements decreased. He concentrated on little enterprises and his personal life, rarely attending important events. He continued to stay in touch with many of his friends and industry colleagues, despite the fact that he no longer frequently made appearances on television or the charts. This quiet continued until Whitlock started making a few special appearances in the late 1990s. These performances demonstrated that his unique voice and vibrant musicianship were still present. Jools Holland performed Bell Bottom Blues in front of an audience during Whitlock and Clapton's joint televised appearance on La Turpaw in 2000. Because it was the first time the two had worked together in public since the Dominoes split, it was a noteworthy occasion. Whitlock went on his own after that brief reunion and declined to work with Clapton on a long-term project. His profession changed to one that was less demanding and concentrated on writing alone and working with independent musicians. Without the demands of his Dominoes heyday, he was able to sustain a musical presence through smaller performances and project-style records, along with spending more time with his family and engaging in other artistic endeavors. Whitlock also started to show more interest in life outside of music during this time. His fans held his solo career in high regard for its excellence and loyalty to his musical individuality, even though it was not as well known as his Clapton era. For those who have collaborated with Whitlock, his value has not decreased as a result of his decision to step away from the spotlight. He maintains a serious approach to his music while striking a balance between his personal life and his art, as evidenced by his solo work and smaller collaborations. At this time, he is progressively entering a new chapter, one that prioritizes sustainability and creative satisfaction over giving in to market pressure. Finally, Bobby Whitlock concentrated more on his personal life and a few musical endeavors in the 2000s. He started working together when he married singer-songwriter Coco Carmel. Both of them wrote, recorded, and collaborated on small-scale performances. Sustaining a musical career free from record industry pressure or lengthy tours, Whitlock was able to express his music as he saw fit and maintain a relationship with his devoted fan base thanks to this mix. Whitlock spends time painting in addition to playing music. He began doing abstract art in 2018 because he saw it as an additional means of expressing his feelings and thoughts. Viewers have given his paintings excellent reviews, and they have appeared in a number of modest exhibitions. His life has become significantly impacted by this artistic endeavor, which gives him a balance between rest and creativity. Whitlock's health quickly deteriorated in 2025 as a result of cancer. Despite his illness's quick course, he kept in touch with friends and carried on with some creative endeavors until he was unable to do so any longer. Bobby Whitlock died at the age of 77 in his Texas home early on the morning of August 10, 2025. Manager Carol Kay verified this information and gave a brief update on his death following a battle with the illness. Coco Carmel expressed her feelings about her life companion and musical colleague in a heartfelt parting post. Eric Clapton announced on his official Facebook page that same day, Our dear friend Bobby Whitlock has passed away at 77. RIP Bobby Kikex. This was the first time Clapton had discussed Whitlock's passing in public, and it was a moment that attracted particular attention because it signaled the end of the original generation of Derek and the Dominoes members. Whitlock's half-century career in music comes to an end with his passing. In addition to co-writing songs that have been cherished by generations, he leaves behind a legacy of timeless recordings and an artist who has stuck to his own sound. Carmel Whitlock has demonstrated tenacity and adaptation to various periods of the music industry throughout his career. From his days with Stax Records and Clapton to his work with Coco, Whitlock was more than simply a co-worker to Clapton. He was an integral part of one of the most innovative periods of his career. Clapton's succinct yet straightforward description of his passing captures the breadth of Whitlock's impact on music and life. Bobby Whitlock is regarded as a creative songwriter, a talented instrumentalist, and a soulful vocalist. From Thorn Tree in the Garden to Bell Bottom Blues, his songs are still heard in fan collections, radio programs, and live performances, evidence that his music has endured over the years. Please like and subscribe to the channel to see more music tales. If you think this video has improved your understanding of Bobby Whitlock and his career. Remember to share your recollections or views about Bobby Whitlock in the comments section. We can preserve his legacy in the hearts of music fans if we work together.